In the vast African savanna, where life and death intertwined in an eternal dance, a heartbreaking tragedy unfolded. Gunshots shattered the morning's stillness, leaving behind a scene of desolation. A mother gorilla lay fallen, a victim of ruthless poachers. Beside her lifeless body, a tiny infant gorilla, barely a few months old, let out a desperate cry. Its weak, forlorn wails echoed across the immense landscape, filled with profound loneliness and utter despair. It trembled, huddling against the sun-scorched grass, its small eyes brimming with tears, gazing aimlessly into the void, as if searching for a glimmer of elusive hope. Not far away, hidden within dense thickets, a lioness silently stalked her prey. The keen senses of the predator drew her attention to the faint sound. Intrigued by the unusual noise, she slowly approached, each step light and cautious. Then, she encountered a sight that made her instincts pause. The infant gorilla lay there, tiny and isolated amidst the golden expanse of grass, with no sign of its parents. In that fateful moment, when predatory instinct dictated she should seize the helpless prey, the lioness did the unthinkable. Instead of killing it, she gently picked up the baby gorilla in her mouth, exactly as she had carefully moved her own tiny cubs through the harsh realities of wilderness life. This wasn't just an unexpected moment. It was the beginning of a story that defied all species boundaries, a testament to how love and compassion can blossom in the most unforeseen places. From that moment on, the lioness became the sole support for the infant gorilla. She not only sheltered and warmed it, but even shared her meager food, despite her own struggles with the harshness of nature. Every glance, every gesture exuded a strange maternal bond, an invisible yet powerful connection. The image of the lioness gently licking the baby gorilla's furry coat, or the infant snuggling into the lioness's warmth, painted a deeply moving picture, a sight rarely witnessed in the wild. In a kingdom where survival of the fittest dictates every interaction, what happens when instinct is overridden by something far more profound? The story of the lioness and the infant gorilla quickly spread, transcending the boundaries of the grasslands. But not everyone accepted this peculiar relationship. The lion pride soon detected a strange scent on the outsider's body. Growls echoed, mixed with suspicious glances and signs of rejection. They snarled, threatened, and even attacked, attempting to separate the lioness from her tiny stranger. This was a direct challenge to the natural order, an unacceptable deviation within the pride's hierarchy. But the lioness did not leave. Standing before the harsh choice between her pride and her adopted child, she chose to protect the baby gorilla, even if the cost was isolation from her own family. She stood firm against the threats, her gaze unwavering, demonstrating a love that transcended all species boundaries. On cold nights, the lioness cradled the baby gorilla in her embrace, her warmth comforting its tiny body, protecting it from lurking dangers. Day by day, the infant grew under the protection of its unlikely mother, learning to trust and depend entirely on the lioness. Their lives became more challenging than ever. Shunned by the pride, the lioness had to hunt alone, finding food for both, facing dangers that she previously would have shared with her kind. New scars appeared on the lioness's body, testaments to her relentless fight to protect her adopted child. The baby gorilla, though small, also began to adapt to the perilous life beside its giant mother. It learned to read signals from the lioness, to hide when danger approached, and, most importantly, it learned that love could exist in all forms, despite all barriers. What sacrifices would you make to protect someone you love, even if it meant defying your own kind? The journey of survival for the lioness and the infant gorilla became more arduous than ever. It was precisely in hardship that a maternal bond, transcending all species boundaries, blossomed powerfully. They were not merely a protector and a protected. They were a family, bound by an extraordinary love rarely witnessed in the wild. The lioness's resilience, the gorilla's innocence, and the invisible thread connecting them became a living legend within the savanna. Every passing day was a struggle. Sometimes, the lioness had to abandon promising hunts because she didn't want to leave the baby gorilla alone. At times, she had to confront hungry hyenas who constantly lurked, seeking to snatch away her adopted child. But no matter how dangerous the situation, the lioness never faltered. Her gaze was always on the baby gorilla, like an unwavering vow of protection. The baby gorilla also grew up with a deep understanding of this love. It was not afraid of the lioness. On the contrary, it always sought warmth and shelter from its special mother. The image of the infant gorilla resting its head on the lioness's mane, or clinging to her fur during stormy nights, was vivid proof of a love that surpassed all biological barriers. This was a love not defined by genes, but by sacrifice, compassion, and a profound, heartfelt bond. Together, they overcame dry seasons, heavy rains, and even deadly perils, creating a fairy tale in the heart of the harsh wilderness. Their story was not just about survival, but about the power of love that can transform instincts, redefine the concept of family, and prove that kindness can bloom in the most unexpected places. Sometimes, the most profound lessons are learned not from human words, but from the silent acts of the wild. And then, one crisp morning, as the sun was still hazy on the horizon, a young park ranger named Alex was on patrol. He was dedicated to his work, having spent his youth protecting the biodiversity of this land. Alex had witnessed countless touching scenes and tragedies in the wild, but what he was about to see would forever change his life. Driving slowly through the tall grasses, Alex suddenly held his breath. Before him was a breathtaking sight. The lioness slowly approached, gently placing the infant gorilla in front of his patrol vehicle. She didn't growl, she didn't threaten. She simply stood there for a moment, her gaze somber, as if containing 1,000 unspoken words. Her eyes were not those of a predator, but of a mother entrusting her most beloved child. Then, she quietly turned and disappeared into the tall grass, without looking back. In that moment, Alex understood that he was witnessing a miracle, an act of immense sacrifice that human reason could barely comprehend. The lioness had understood that she could not forever protect the baby gorilla in this harsh environment, and she had chosen to entrust her only hope to human hands. That sacrifice, without a single word, without a single roar, was more powerful than any language. It was a testament to a love that transcended all species boundaries, a love that had put the child's well-being above all else, even if it meant letting go. From a vast savanna to the protective embrace of human care, the baby gorilla's journey was far from over, carrying with it the silent echoes of an extraordinary love. Moved by this sacrifice, Ranger Alex gently picked up the infant gorilla. It was tiny and trembling in his arms, but its eyes glimmered with a new spark of hope. Alex brought the baby gorilla back to the sanctuary. From that day on, he personally cared for it, as a part of his responsibility to nature and as a tribute to the miraculous love that had defied all wild instincts. Alex named the infant gorilla Kibo, meaning hope in Swahili, wishing its life would be filled with good things. Kibo grew up healthy under the devoted care of Alex and the sanctuary team. The story of the lioness and Kibo quickly spread, becoming a living legend of unconditional love and immense sacrifice. It wasn't just a story about animals. It was a profound lesson for humanity about compassion, resilience, and the ability to overcome all barriers to love. This story is a powerful reminder that compassion and connection are not limited by species or instinct. It challenges our preconceived notions of the natural world and proves that love can blossom in the most unexpected places, bringing hope even in the darkest of circumstances. The unseen thread of love connected a lioness, an orphaned baby gorilla, and a devoted park ranger, creating an enduring legacy of kindness and sacrifice. We hope this extraordinary story touches your heart, inspires you to believe in miracles, and reminds us of our responsibility to protect the natural world and all living beings within it. Every small act of kindness can create ripples of profound change. Let's together spread the message of love, sacrifice, and compassion that the lioness left for us. Please share this video with your friends and family to help spread this meaningful message. And don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments below. Share what you think about the story, or tell us about other touching stories you've come across.